Hi, this is Manuela Rowlings, and I'm delighted to be presenting to you today on why collaboration is key in dog population management, and I will be doing this together with our valued local partners in Romania.
Hi, I'm Anita Socol, and I'll be presenting our point of view and our model of this matter and how we gestionated it.
So let me introduce myself briefly. My name is Manuela Rowlings. I work for Four Paws International. I'm the head of Stray Animal Care Europe. And I just want to briefly go into the important actors in dog population management, as well as their roles and responsibilities. So you have seen this graphic probably already several times now during this conference. It describes dog population dynamics, and it looks quite complex. And indeed, dog population management is complex. And we know in order to change complex systems, it requires the effort of multiple stakeholders on many different levels. And I just briefly want to go into some of these different stakeholders and different levels for you to get an idea on what are the different forces that determine the size and the welfare of the dog population in any given municipality. And first of all, let's remember that every municipality is different. So we have international actors. We have national actors, national legislation. We have sometimes also provinces or counties, because in some areas this differs from the national general legislation. And then we often or typically deal on a municipal level with dog population management. And then there's many different types of groups of stakeholders that are affected and that affect dog populations. And when I speak about dog populations, we are typically focusing on stray or free roaming dogs. But we know that this is tightly intertwined also with the owned population. So on the stakeholder side, of course, we have politicians that majorly influence the numbers and on the streets, and also the way dogs are treated in communities. However, there's also pet owners. Abandonment and also adoptions have a huge influence on stray dog populations. Veterinarians are a highly important part of any programs that concern animals. And of course, there's non-profit organizations, international as well as national. There's the media that makes a big difference in attitudes of people towards stray animals. And most importantly, and a group that should never ever be disregarded, is the community. So to go a little bit further into details of actors in dog population management, and please, this is not a complete list. This is just a couple of examples that give you an idea of actors that influence dog population management. So, for example, on an international level, at the moment, there is discussions of mandatory identification and registration in all EU countries. Trade agreements between countries can sometimes influence. We speak a lot about sustainable development goals that are also connected to animals. And then there is the World Health Organization and stray animal management standards. Just to give a couple of examples. A very classical actor in dog population management are national authorities. They develop the national legislative frame, they deliver national strategies and set the tone for a general approach. And very importantly, of course, they build capacity, expertise in the country, and they grant funds. Then sometimes we have different situations depending on different provinces or counties. To give you an example, the country that I come from, Austria, every province has a different animal welfare legislation. You can imagine this can sometimes be rather confusing. But I have also a positive example that we are bringing here, and this is the best practice from JC Ilfov as a very innovative example in Romania, how a county works with several different stakeholders to make a difference in their area. And then it goes down to the smallest administrative level, which are municipalities and local authorities, because generally it falls to them to implement the program in their communities. And actors, as we have seen before, for politicians, they implement the programs. Pet owners are a continued source of stray animals in the communities. Veterinarians are an essential component of all kinds of population control. Why? Because we need them to implement either catch, neuter, vaccinate, return, but also very importantly to think about owned pets. They make recommendations. They set the tone for at what age animals should be sterilized. Then me coming from an international nonprofit organization, I see that nonprofit organizations can often bring expertise and experience to the sector because they have many years of working in different countries, and international organizations very often specialize in impact and sustainability. While national nonprofit organizations bring very hands-on, very direct activities. They can mobilize local resources and local knowledge. Media, we spoke already, really important to reach the community and attitudes towards stray animals. And once again, a super important actor in dog population management is the community. No sustainability without community collaboration. And these are just examples of some of the important actors within dog population management. As I said at the beginning of my talk, this is a really complex system that we can only change if many of these actors all work in the same direction. And now I would like to hand over to my partner, who will give a very tangible, very practical example of how such a collaboration could look like. Over to you, Anita.
Thank you, Manuela. Hi, I'm Anita Socol, and I'm representing the Ilfov County Animal Welfare Department. So, as you may see, I'm representing a public institution, and I want to present our point of view and what are our actions for this matter. As we can see, we have a legislation, but first I have to frame up a little bit this problem for Ilfov. And as Manuela said at the beginning of her presentation, every municipality is different. So I have to say that every country is different in this matter. But for Romania, where I'm coming from, and Ilfov County, which is a surrounding area from Bucharest, this matter it's very important for us because we have a lot of stray dogs. And as I said, we have some legislation. Every owner should sterilize their dog. We have legislations. I have to be clear because we have only legislation for dogs, not for cats. So back to our legislation for dogs, we have a law about the management of stray dogs. They are catched, they are put in a shelter, and within the first 7 working days, as the date of registration in the shelter records, dogs may be claimed by their owners. In that 7 days, they can also be adopted. And if nothing of this happened, they will be euthanized based on the decision issued by a person authorized to this end of the mayor within the term defined by such decision. Okay. We have here a graphic about the catch and the kill. In Ilfov, we don't have any records about this. As you can see, we have here a graphic, but this graphic is from ASPA Bucharest because Ilfov, it doesn't have any graphics about the catch and the kill, any registers about this matter. So first of all, we have to understand how this catch and kill works. First is the dog is catched, hold at the shelters for 14 days, kill and dispose the bodies. In the graphic that we can see in the right, we have the numbers on the dogs that enter in the shelter, on the ears. We may see in the 2014, we have a case where a boy were killed by some stray dogs. And then the mayor at the time disposed to be euthanized all the dogs in Bucharest. But afterwards, we can clearly see that this is not a solution because the population is almost the same. It's ineffective in the long run. Who you are? The Animal Welfare Office is a department within the Ilfov County Council. Is established in 2021, and it consists of 8 people and a coordinator. We are young and fresh in this matter of the public institution that has a department for animal welfare. Since we started our activity, we focused on 3 levels. For us, from our point of view, they are the most important: education, sterilization, and adoption. They are complementary and they have to work out together. Besides this, we are the first pet-friendly institution in Romania. And we collaborate with the municipalities, with the other municipalities, and some NGOs, international NGOs. The collaboration is through protocols between Ilfov County Council, city halls, and international NGOs. Since June 2021, we have tried to explain to the mayors that sterilization and adoption are the only ways we can solve the problem of dogs on the street and overcrowded shelters. Although, according to data provided by ASPA Bucharest, there was a period of time when dogs were euthanized in large numbers. As we can see, the problem has not been solved that way. The abandonment rate is still very high. People do not sterilize animals and the shelters are full. The euthanize part is not a problem solve, is not the solution. The solution is the sterilization and adoption. Sorry. So, for education, in October 2022, together with our partners and colleagues from Animal Society, we started a project in several schools in Ilfov. It is addressed to 6th grade children. And once a month, we are going to school, talk to the children about respect for the animals. We also talk to the children about topics such as adoption, what it means to be a veterinarian. Maybe some kids will be inspired by this. and what it means to take your pet on a vacation, general information about the mandatory sterilization and the microchipping of dogs. This is a picture with my colleague Anka from Animal Society. We are also bring to the school animals, especially dogs that were adopted, and we have a fair example of how can a dog be transformed and be a good dog, and that kids understand the importance of adoption. Sterilization, another important part of our perspective. In February 2022, we started the sterilization campaign in Ilfov County. Although Romanian legislation does not allow us to finance such sterilization campaigns, with the help of two associations, our friends from Animal Society and Center of Homeless Animal Hospital, we managed to sterilize dozens of animals every month. So far, we are proudly to say that we have sterilized over 3,150 animals, dogs and cats of common breed, with or without an owner, from Ilfov County. Those are images from the field with our friends from Animal Society. We have here the first picture where our colleague is taking a dog to put it in a cage. We have pictures from the operation room. We have pictures from returning animals to the owners, and of course, because in the sterilization campaigns we feed the dogs from the street. The sterilization for own pets is very simple. People bring their animals in the morning. We give them tags. They will give us the consent for the surgery. After we put them in cage, and by the order they came in, we will take them to operating room. I have here my colleagues that are helping that lady to put her dog in the cage. And as they wake up from anesthesia, we put every animal back in its cage and call the owner to come and take it back home. They receive post-operatory instructions, and from Purina company, which supports our activity, people also receive a package of wet and dry food for their animals. The adoption, another important chapter from our work. In September 2021, we launched the first platform dedicated to adoption of dogs. The adoption platform was released with a press conference because we want that information to reach all the people in the Ilfov County, but to be not limited at this county. Media, when is used in a good way, it could bring so much help for the animals. So, as you may see on this platform, we can currently find photos about 250 dogs available for adoptions. We work with two public shelters, Branești and Bufta. In addition, we can also find online details about the sex, about the age, about the behavior of the dog. We are very proud about this adoption platform because it reaches out the adoption numbers, because for the people, outside people that they are not working and they don't know about the stray dogs and about the shelters, for them is something that they don't want to go in the shelter to adopt, because the image from the shelter is very hard. It's very harsh for them to see. So we bring the animals in their attention on the internet, and when they want to adopt, either they can go in the shelter if they can and want to do this, or they can call us and tell us about the dog, the name of the dog, and that they want to adopt it, and we will bring from the shelter to them. We want to find all the ways to get out, to bring out all the dogs from the shelter. For adoption also, we have a lot of campaigns. Over time, we have implemented all kind of pre-adoption campaigns, so from Fill the Void in Your Life, Umple Golul din Viața Ta, which was the most popular of our campaign, to the distribution of bookmarks with pre-adoption, messages in bookstores and flyers with photos and dogs available for adoption in beauty salons or subway station. In the image from the right, we have an image displayed in the public transport. And since last summer in Ilfov, you are allowed with your pet in the public transportation. And in the left down, we have a flyer that we are giving to the people that are crossing some beauty salons that we have a protocol with. As I said about the media, when it is used in a good way, with good intention, we can make a lot of good deeds. So, as I said about the media, when it's used in a good way, we can make a lot of good deeds. So our dogs often end up on TV, where the whole country can see them, our broadcast or on the news with all their stories, and try to get the people's attention in order to adopt responsibility, because we have to, and we try to avoid that phenomenon when people adopt. They don't know nothing about adoption. They don't know how to treat the dog that is coming from the shelter. They don't know a lot of conditions and the terms that they have to respect for the dog to be and to accommodate much easier. We have here in the images my colleagues that they are often go to the TV. And in the end, we want to say that a fed dog is not an aggressive dog. We are considering that the problem of dogs is a reality in the field. That's where we are spending most of our time. The problem is in the field, and the solution also is in the field. So every week we are going to the streets and feed dogs, cats. We always have bags of food and water bowls in our car and to help them. So at the end, I have to, and I want to thank our collaborators and the Animal Society and Homeless Hospital, because without them, we couldn't make so much good things. And the collaboration between all the actors is the key. Only when various measures are combined and all the actors collaborate, we can see the best results, because we have a common goal, and for the benefit of the animals, we have to collaborate. So thank you very much.